that book, so that you will get the blessings of unbroken lineage of his teaching, and at the same time we can talk about three principal paths, right? So therefore, I thought it is better just to talk about it instead of just talking about three principal paths. Go through the book so that you can get a oral transmission and explanation transmission of that book, which has unbroken lineage direct from the great Tsongkhapa. Maybe everyone knows about the great Tsongkhapa. The great Tsongkhapa is the founder of the Lupa sect, but he is one of the great scholars in Tibetan Buddhism, and he brought the real intention of Buddha about his teaching into light, make it very clear to all the followers of Buddhism. There have been many scholars, of course, in Tibet, but the clarity, particularly on the subjects which are considered very intensive and profound, was not found till the great Tsongkhapa came to Tibet. So we need, because it is not that easy to understand the ultimate intention of Buddha through his teachings, to understand the real ultimate meaning of the words of Buddha. It is very difficult because we just reading the Buddha's doctrine. For us, it is difficult to understand unless you are so intelligent, extraordinarily intelligent, and you have a huge amount of merit that you have accumulated in the past lives, and you have a very profound wisdom that you have been developing through your many past lives. Those people, they can just read the doctrine of Buddha Sutras, and they can understand, and they can get realizations. But like us, we are not that intelligent, we don't have wisdom, and so we need some more clearer explanations who can tell us the real intention of Buddha. What is the real intention of Buddha? For example, most of us, we might be aware of the sutra, Heart Sutra, because it is very short, and in Tibetan Buddhism also we chant this all the time. So because it is short and easy to chant, and then in China also, according to Chinese Buddhism, you have also Heart Sutra translated in Chinese. So this is, I believe, the Heart Sutra is famous not only in Tibetan Buddhism, also in Chinese Buddhism, and it is very essential. Actually, the name of this book is not Heart Sutra, but it is known as Heart Sutra, widely known as Heart Sutra these days, right? Because I think it is translated in that way because heart is the main organ of human being, right? So this sutra is also kind of main organ of all his teachings, Buddha's teachings. That's why it is called Heart Sutra. So if we go word to word, then this, in Tibetan it is called Sherab Yimpo. So Sherab is wisdom, and Yimpo means essence. essence of wisdom. That is the right translation for Heart Sutra, the essence of wisdom. So this is essence of wisdom. So it is very sacred, holy, and profound. So, when we chant Heart Sutra, you might be aware that we say there is no eye, there is no ear, there is no nose, there is no tongue, there is no body, and so forth and so on. So if Buddha says there is no eyes, it's crazy. There is no ears. What he is talking about? We have ears, we have eyes, we have nose, we have body, and he says there is no body later. This is very, it is unacceptable. So we don't know the intention of Buddha. So if you just take it as the word goes on, then it is difficult to understand the meaning, right? So we need to know why Buddha said so. And what is the meaning of no eyes? It doesn't mean there is no eyes. But he said so. So we've got to know the meaning. We must extract the meaning from these words. And when you get that, the ultimate meaning of that word, then you get the wisdom. Right? So otherwise, in Tibet, somebody said that he said when he read Heart Sutra, and there is no eyes, there is no nose, and there is no tongue, and so forth. And he said this is very strange. He just said instead of going in this, each of these, he should have said there is no head. Right? Each individual things he mentioned. If he said there is no head, and it is included, eyes and ears are included. So some people, the foolish people like me, can say these kind of things, can think in this way. So we need help from great masters who can tell us the ultimate intention of Buddha. So we need clarification, we need clarity in the teachings, we need illumination in the teachings. So the great Tsongkhapa is uncomparable master. If we can go through the teaching, his teaching, it is, I think, we are very fortunate to get this teaching. And I'm also very fortunate that I get the opportunity to speak a few words on this subject. I cannot, of course, I know capacity to explain the whole meaning of this book, but I can give some words on that, and I feel fortunate, and you also should feel fortunate that you are going to get transmission of this great book, the holy book, although it is a very short one. Even though we talk about three principal paths, we actually got to talk about all the paths to enlightenment. And the great Tsongkhapa has written a huge book on the path to enlightenment. So this is called Great Stages of Path to Enlightenment, or Great Order of the Path to Enlightenment. So we got to know about that. Otherwise, just we check out three main principal paths, and then we start to jump to practice on that before practicing the primary levels. Then we cannot get to that path. It is not possible. So it's like, if you want to get to third floor, you have to go to the first floor and second floor. Then you will get to third floor. Otherwise you cannot jump direct to third floor from the ground, right? So similarly, we got to know all the primary paths to enlightenment. But when you put them in order, you must know how to put them in order. What is the first and second and so forth. So it is better to know, or at least you should have some. At least you should be able to count them. And that also gives a good imprint on your mind, which is very useful for us in the future. So to put imprint, this is very important for the beginners. Because for the beginners, we cannot practice very deeply and perfectly. The perfection is not there. The full involvement is not there. And the full understanding is not there. But we just cannot waste our time. So therefore, there are many things we can do as a beginner. So one of them is to get imprint as much as possible, as many as possible. Then you can mount up the imprint, and that is kind of collecting a lot of good seeds for the crops, right? So that if you have a great collection of seeds, then in the future you can expect crops in field. If you don't have any seeds, and even if you have a huge land, you cannot expect crops, right? So the imprint, to make imprint of Dharma on your mind or within yourself, it is very important for beginners. So therefore, when you count them, even though you don't know them perfectly, still you can make imprints. Therefore, I think you should count them. Okay, I promised that I will talk a little bit about Guru the other day. Maybe I can talk today, right? So, a little bit. So, actually, Guru is a Sanskrit word. If we translate in Tibet, that is Lama. So, now we use the word Lama for all the monks. So actually this word is for Guru. And Guru is not simply a teacher. Guru means the meaning of Lama is unsurpassed teacher. There is no teacher or master who is greater than a person. So that is unsurpassed master, unsurpassed Guru, unsurpassed teacher. Okay? And then Guru means heavy. In which quality he is heavy? That is Guru. He must be heavy in wisdom. He must be heavy in compassion. He must be a very compassionate person. And he must be skillful to lead disciples